There is so much to talk about. Okay, so welcome. Shelf Life 28. I just checked because I don't want to forget. No caffeine. It's about, what time is it? 6:30. A little bit late. Whatever. I flipped the camera around because I've been doing it with my phone this way. I don't even have a camera. I've been doing it this way so I could see myself and I could see the time, because when we talked about GR, that was over half an hour. Wow, that was the record for the long one. But I noticed that the video was kind of garbage. So I turned it around and I'm just looking at the back of my phone right now. That's cool. We have so much to discuss. I feel like for like pretty much the first quarter of the year, when I was just reading GR, it was like, still reading GR. What are we going to talk about? Don't know, but we have so much to talk about today. I'm going to try to do this a little quicker than last week. And I dedicated a page at the, like, as soon as I'm done with this one, I'll dedicate a new page. Anything that comes to mind, I'll have one page where it's like, all right, that goes straight to Shelf Life. So we're just going to go down the page and we'll chat in between. I'm sure things will sprout into my head as they normally do. April 7th, 2026 is the release date of The Tunnel. It was announced this week, and I was looking at the date, and I was like, wait a minute, that's today. And I'm like, oh, a year out. Because I thought everyone was talking about how it was supposed to be coming out in June, and Dalkey is wildly teasing everybody with these awesome little pictures and like blurbs from Gas, and I'm ready to just like, here's my money, but 1 year. So that's exciting. That's fun news. Another one that I found out is October 7th. There is a new pension coming out called Shadow Ticket. So I just finished this. How exciting is that? It's not like, oh, okay, well, I have to do Gravity's Rainbow. It's like, now I feel like I'm on par with everybody. I can enjoy this, and it's very exciting. I'm going to plow through, and then I'll lose steam. Plow through, lose steam. You're the plow. We're going to keep that theme going. And since I finished Gravity's Rainbow, I heard a term called a book hangover, which I totally had after I finished that. I've been wandering around, grabbing everything, starting everything, and I've been trying to read a lot of shorties and a lot of palate cleansers and just, get out of the space of Thomas. Not that I didn't like it, but it's like I needed to escape the world for a while. Pynchon's world. So I went back to David Foster Wallace's syllabi, and one of them was Desperate Characters. I happen to have it on the shelf. Do I have it here with me now? Yes. All the fun sounds I make in between quiet. It's like I can't handle quiet in video, so little sounds. Desperate Characters. I can't see what that looks like. By Paula Fox. This was an awesome book. I really enjoyed it. I wrote a review. I'm trying to write more reviews. I put it up on Instagram. Still kind of shaky at it, but it's getting the written word chops out. So let's just kind of free ball it right now. This takes place, I'm guessing, in the early 60s, and it's about a young, childless couple, and they are what I would assume wealthy or rich or well-to-do high society. And they're entering Brooklyn. I don't know Brooklyn and all the areas of it, but it appears that it's a beginning to be gentrified area, and you see the juxtaposition of wealth moving in and poverty right across the street or in the same block. And you get all these like little subtleties of classism, racism, feminism, a whole bunch of things that are going on in the culture at the time. And it follows a story of a weekend where the couple is Otto and Sophie Bentwood, I think. And she's very empathetic to the world, and Otto is a lawyer, and he's kind of like, you could tell he's got feelings, but he kind of like smashes them down for business, and he doesn't want to feel them. So that's an interesting dynamic, but she gets bit by a cat, hence the cat, a stray cat, and she doesn't want to be troublesome and go to the doctors, and it's the weekend, and she doesn't want to call anybody, and she doesn't want to cancel all of her high society appointments. And then she's like, I kind of need to get this taken care of because it's throbbing, it's getting huge and gross. And you follow this story. They wind up going out to the Hamptons, spend some time out there, and it really reminded me, if you've ever seen that documentary Grey Gardens or Grey's Gardens, but it's like if Grey's Gardens, you just took a time machine and you zoomed back to like their heyday. Really, I'm not going to say anymore. That part was just really cool when they get out there. Fun book, quick read, and from reading tough and difficult broderism books, it's kind of like running. It's like, oh, I can breathe better now. And I had my reading stamina, my reading endurance was up notably from this one. I'm like, all right, that was cool. I do have a pen, and we'll get to why I have a pen in a second. I'm going to cross these things off so I don't just lose myself. There's the sounds again. I ran out of minutes in Spotify. How upsetting was that? I was reading, I have to give this back to my wife, The Power of Showing Up, parenting books, and that was cool. I like nonfictions. I like learning about certain things, but I'm not going to devote all the time to, B-tier books when I have A-tier time only. So that was cool, but because I did that, I ran out of Spotify minutes, and I started listening to something else. I forget what it was. But either way, we went straight to YouTube, and now I'm listening to... Where is it? I have it up here, too. Stephen King's On Writing. This is something I bought a long time ago. I'm really enjoying... He's reading it, too, and I'm really enjoying listening to this because it's kind of a memoir, and it has all the writing and writing minutia that I want to get to. And he pointed to a couple other books that I've also found on YouTube, which is free and awesome. So that's been great. I think next month, 6 days, 5 now, it will renew, but I want to finish listening to part 2 of the Gulag Archipelago. I finished 1. It was awesome. I read A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. That is one of my favorite books ever. Like, you want to talk bleak, you want like the verbiage of like cold, just like brutal cold, read that book. Let's cross that off. So then I was like, maybe I could finish another book before Shelf Life 28. So I asked you guys on Instagram what I should read, and it came down to Steinbeck's Canary Row. Whoa! Put that there. Cormac's All the Pretty Horses, and Hubert Selby Jr.'s Last Exit to Brooklyn. It came down to page count because I want to read all these. This one is 301. This one's 304. This one's 196. Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner. And I enjoyed The Pearl when I read that. I'm going to keep this one out. I enjoyed The Pearl when I read that. That was great. There's a couple other ones. Of Mice and Men, of course. Classic. That's one I actually did read in school. And there's a couple other big ones in the canon of Steinbeck, but I kind of steered away from this one just because it's hardcover. And it's funny, The Moon is Down. That was the other one. And both hardcovers that I've read, The Moon is Down and this one, they're both hardcovers. I usually like paperbacks. I like to fold them over, bust that spine. This book was awesome. I had written some notes, back and forth and back and forth. Let's see. Finished Steinbeck. Is it Cannery Row? Canary Row? I think it's Cannery Row. But it takes place in Monterey, California, and you're dealing with like vagrants and a shopkeep, and there's like a whorehouse and a laboratory, and it's all like this one little district, and it's about the community and the life there, and you know the trouble that they get into, and it can be lighthearted, it can be heavy, and Steinbeck has this way of having like a light breezy story, but then he interjects like just the most horrible, terrible things of like real life ever, and it's remarkable. The guy can write a book. Yeah, happy. I wrote down happy, fun, but like he really captures essential loneliness. And I found it to be kind of anticlimactic, but kind of that's how life can be sometimes. Anticlimactic. And it's just like, that kind of sucks. And that's just how life is. And we're going to move on. What happens at the end? That's just the end of the book. I really enjoyed it. But when I looked it up on Goodreads, a lot of it said, Canary Rock. Please help me. Part 1, and then there's another book that's supposed to be a part 2. That might be my next Steinbeck, but it's soothing to read this guy. I could see why he's held in such high regards. So that was great. That was another win for the week, and I finished that today. And yeah, I finished that today for you guys, so I was able to talk about it. I will write another review for this on Instagram. If you're not already following me on Instagram, Macaroni Books on Instagram. It's pretty easy. Onward. I lost my page again. Here we go. Concept of the book Hangover. We already talked about that. Yep, skill, depth, ease of reading. Cross that off. Before we get to the next fun part. Cool. Short man. Okay. So then, here, we're going to put all these together. 1, 2, am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing something. No. Count of Monte Cristo's upstairs. I finally got out of Roman Bandits, and then the next chapter, I finished the next chapter. So, I'm at the point where they went to like the opera, and I'm trying to remember their names. Albert and Franz. I don't know, the two homies that are in Rome. They're at the opera, and they meet a girl, or one of them knows a girl, and the apparition, that's the chapter. And they look up, and they're like, that guy kind of looks like a vampire, and the girl's kind of freaked out about him. Later, he meets him, and it's like, you're the Count. And he didn't say that, but he's like, oh! And then it ended. I'm like, perfect time to end right there. The Count's awesome. I have a vacation coming up, and I was like, what kind of book am I going to bring? I was thinking about bringing the Rum Diary. Might be too short. I want to travel light. The Count. I might just hammer The Count during vacation, just because it's so fun to read. It's just like classic adventure, straight story with all these tangents. It's like binging a series. So we might do that, but let me tell you a little story. If you've ever watched The Office, there's one episode where Pam talks about going on vacation and how she's made it till February, and that's like the longest she could ever take it without while holding on to vacation. Excuse me. I kind of have the same thing. At my job, if you are a good boy and you are not late and you don't take any absences, you get incentive time. So every quarter you'll get 4 hours of vacation, or at the end of the year they'll pay you. It burns a hole right in my pocket, and I need to spend it immediately. So Thursday afternoon, I looked it up, and I'm like, 4 hours. It made it in. Friday, I took a half day. And when I took that half day, I came home, said to my wife, hey, you want to go out to eat? Where do you want to eat? I don't know, somewhere near a bookstore. So we got some food, and I went to the bookstore, and I knew I was going to spoil myself. I don't do this often, And yeah, I just kind of went ham because I was in the book Hangover. And all my friends are reading all these other cool books, and I want some new books. So I got some books. And here, we're going to talk about them. Ugh. Yeah. Awesome. So, just going through, we're going to talk about things as why did I get these? Why did I not get something else? First up, I got Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse-Five. I have never read this. I like the fact that it's this is a pocketbook. People have recommended Vonnegut to me, and I don't know much about him, and they're like, this is the place to start. So there we go, bingo. The Myth of Sisyphus. There were a whole bunch of these looking books. I loved The Stranger. I thought that was awesome. And reading the back, here, let's read the back. One of the most influential philosophical texts of the 20th century. Myth of Sisyphus features here in a standalone edition, awesome, is a crucial exposition of existentialist thought. You're nailing it. Influence works such as Don Juan, and then Don Juan I have over here. Kafka, awesome. The essay presents a meditation on suicide. I stopped reading after that. I was like, oh, this is it. Meditations on suicide. And I'm not suicidal, but I am fascinated by the subject. I don't know what that means, but fascinated. Here is one of the internet's favorite books, Stoner by John Williams. I loosely know what this is about. Essentially a wasted life, and that sounds depressing and fun. Everyone says that this book is very controversial. Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I'm sorry. This is going to have the same feeling that I had when I read this with the book cover, but I don't care anymore. Let's go. Everyone rants and raves about this one. I feel like I just have to read it. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Again, I don't know anything about it at all. And then I was like, I need the bricks. I need the bricks. And after the Brodernism article and the discussion of what books are on that list, and I saw something else on postmodernism, and probably the first chunker that is in this sphere is The Recognitions by William Gaddis. Got it. Finally. Like, awesome. What else did I get? Now, that article was written about Laszlo Krasnohorkai's Hearst 07769. Boom! Nailed it. But also that book is not the best entryway to Laszlo. And I've kind of like had my feelers on like, oh, I'm going to get Laszlo eventually. I did not buy that one because that would have been an impulse buy. But as soon as I got home, I ordered Satin Tango, and yeah, I'm stoked about this. It's the right size. They're like, this is the first book, and oh, I feel like I did it right. I did it justice. Now, with that haul being said, that was fun. Oh, there's one more. And I love a shorty. Like this, look at that. Beautiful. And everyone has also been talking about Bolaño. So this is Roberto Bolaño's Antwerp. Look at that cover. I like this. And then I flipped through, and there were like these little pictures somewhere. But like, do you see how short these chapters are? Oh, see, there's a picture. That looks interesting. Very cool. Kind of like the tunnel. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff that like all my online homies are like, this is where it's at. So I feel like I got a cool guy pile. Let's take all these. And now, I am not one to just buy books and be like, oh, forget everything else that I'm reading. Because I had said when I read Steinbeck's Cannery Road, I also had Last Exit to Brooklyn and All the Pretty Horses on that list. So, after the book Hangover, I feel like now I'm in book mania. Like the depression is over. Now it's time to just feel out everything. So after doing the palate cleanser, so to speak, it's time to get into some more serious stuff. So I did start All the Pretty Horses. I don't know if you can consider it starting. I'm on page 8, but I've known McCarthy doesn't use quotes. But I also see he also doesn't seem to have chapters, but there's clear breaks from like single to double space where it's like, oh, okay, mental break right here. Manageable, bite-sized chunks. I really like that in a book. But, so I kind of started this one. We'll see how long I start that because I'm not going to DNF something yet. But I wanted to see what this was all about. So it's been sitting on my shelf. I bought it a couple months ago, and I opened it up and I started reading it, and it literally sucked me in. I posted a story about this, and since then I'm now on chapter 3. This is easy to read. Like, thus far it's easy to read, but like, yo, this is my flavor. And it seems like people are like, this was hyped up and it's not as good as all the hype was, but I don't care about how good the hype was. This is dope as hell so far. And also I've been nervous because I didn't want to mark up Gravity's Rainbow, but it would have behooved me to start taking notes. So I started annotating. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but pretty much anything that strikes me, I just highlight. I know I should get the little tabs, but I spent all my money on books, so leave me alone. I also got another one. I ordered a couple books too. I pre-ordered some things. Schadenfreude, I think that's what it's called, from Deep Vellum. That when that comes out, I'm gonna be just dropping everything and reading that. And also, I heard that a movie is coming out based off of Pynchon's Vineland. So that's on its way in the mail as well. So I don't want to just plow. I do want to plow through, but I don't just want to put a whole bunch of highlighter in here for stuff that's like, meh. So if it smacks me, I'm going to highlight it. Is that the right way? Is that how you annotate? What are some of the reasons you annotate? Because I'm just like, this is cool, and when I flip through, I want to be able to do this with you guys. So for example, things I like. It seems strange that I have a body, that I am in a body. Like that. My fingers, it seems, move across, not my body, but my mind. My mind dressed in flesh. My flesh dressed in the cosmos. Ho! Ho, 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 yes. Had a couple more. The pain waited for me. All of it. Now we're talking. This is grindcore on the page. This isn't, it seems to me, where the city ended, but where reality ended. All right. This is some prose. But guys, very exciting stuff. That's all I have for you. Thank you. It was short, sweet, to the point this week. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments. You guys have been leaving awesome comments, and help me out with the annotation. Help me out with the pronunciation. And what do you think of my stacks? So that's it. Love y'all.